So I got a nose job, and that sounds so crazy to me just to hear it out loud, but I did. I got a nose job. I got a nose job. I have just been calling it like by rhinoplasty or septoplasty, you know, but I got a nose job and it sounds so crazy. Okay, so right now, today is March 8th, so it's been about a little bit more than 1 month and 1 week since my surgery, because I had my surgery on February 1st. So all the videos that you guys have been seeing that I've been posting were filmed before that. So I honestly am so happy with the result. I know it's not even like the final form, but I love it so much already, and I cannot believe that I was so like nervous to talk about it and so like shy about it because I didn't want people to think I was like fake or anything like that. But you know, like, who cares, because I'm so happy with this little nose now, and it's everything that I wanted it to be. Plus I can breathe so much better. It's amazing. I can't believe it's like been barely a month and it looks amazing. Okay, so first things first, if you guys want to see how it looks, I will show you from the profile, which I used to hate my profile, but now I think it's so cute. And then the front side, obviously, and then the other profile side. And I am just like so happy with it. Whenever I think about the result, I just like, I can't stop smiling because it makes me so happy. So first week of recovery, I guess I could go through all the recovery experience right now. First off, so first day of recovery, that was probably the worst, and it wasn't even super bad. It was definitely uncomfortable, but I guess I'll just get into it. So first day, I'm just gonna call like the day of operation the first day because it was February 1st. It just makes more sense for me. So I went to the operation center, surgery center. That's what it's called. So I went to the surgery center at 6 a.m. My surgery was gonna be at 7, so I was like there by 6 a.m., you know? And it's all the way across town, so it's like more than an hour drive, I think it was. Maybe a little bit less than that, but it was kind of far. So I got there and they checked me in, and then they were like, okay, can we see like your identification and stuff, just to like make sure that it was me, you know? And then they asked about like my allergies and if I had somebody who was gonna drive me home, because like they won't discharge you unless there's someone who's gonna like take you home. So my mom was with me and my grandma was with me, so they could like console each other about my operation. And so they were gonna take me home and they were gonna care for me and stuff, and I'm so grateful for that because you really need people to help you out with this. After that, then they took me back into a hospital bed and they put the gown and everything, very fashionable, and it was so crazy just like to be there in that moment. I was just like, oh, it's gonna happen, and I was like really excited and just like, I was really ready. I was ready, and I had done all my research. I knew what was happening. I knew how they're gonna do it because I'd seen so many videos. Like, I don't know if other people have seen as many open rhinoplasty videos as I have seen, but I've seen quite a few. So I felt like, okay, I kind of get the gist of what's happening, you know? And it was all like gonna be for the better anyway. Like, my surgeon knew what they were doing. I was gonna get a cuter nose, which I wanted. I was gonna get better breathing, which I wanted. So I was ready. And then they made me put like a little hairnet on and little hospital socks. So then they let my mom in and she was like, goodbye, be safe, you know, like, hope everything goes well. So then they were like, okay, we're gonna wheel you into surgery now. And so I kind of really enjoyed it because I didn't have to like walk and I just got to be lazy as they were like driving me towards the surgery operation room, I guess. And I was really surprised when I got wheeled into the operating room at how skinny the table is, because like hospital beds are huge, and for some reason I thought that they were gonna be like the same size, which doesn't make sense to me at all. But yeah, so they like asked me to just like scoot over onto the operating table, and then I was like, okay, I got this. And then like I felt like I was gonna fall off. Like, I was so scared when I was scooting over that I was gonna fall off, but I got it. I made it, so everything went well. I don't think they would have let me fall off anyway. So I made it, and it turns out that it's like plenty of room. It's like fine. So then they were like, okay, so like let's hook you up and everything. And then like the nurses and stuff, they were like putting the little like finger clamp. I don't know what that does. I don't know what it is, but they like put that, and then I had my IVs already in and everything, and then came the time for anesthesia. Oh, also if you see this, this is just like eyelash glue that it got stuck and I can't get it off. So I was still like really calm and just like kind of like, all right, this is it. This is the moment. Let's do this. And then they were like, okay, like here's the anesthesia thing, like the little mask. And it felt like it was like a movie, because you know how they do those camera angles where they like put the mask over you, or like the camera to make it look like it's their point of view. So that was like my actual point of view, and I was like, whoa, this is like a movie. So then they did that, and I was amazed at how quickly that thing worked, because it was just like, they didn't tell me to count backwards from 10 or anything, because they just like put it, and then it was like, ugh, like I got knocked out real quick. So I woke up, and the first thing that happened was I woke up and there was a nurse right next to me on my right, and she was like, okay, everything went well, do you want some water? And I was super thirsty because they had just like put a tube down my throat, you know? And also they had put these like circulatory cuffs, I guess, on the bottom of my legs to help prevent any blood clots. And it felt so uncomfortable that I remember just asking her if I needed them for any longer. And she was like, yeah, just for a little bit longer, okay? And then she was so nice. She like had the softest voice and was like super calming. So then she was like, okay, do you want me to get your mom? And I was like, okay, sure. Like I was really like confident of what was happening. I knew what was happening. I wasn't like freaking out, because I had heard that people sometimes freak out when they don't know what's happening with anesthesia. Like they wake up, even if they signed up for the surgery, and then they like panic because they don't realize what's happening or things like that. I had heard all these bad things about anesthesia, but my experience was like really smooth, you know? So the lady asked if she should get my mom, and I was like, yeah, sure. So she got my mom, and she was like seeing how everything was doing, and I remember asking her like, take pictures, because I wanted to document the whole thing, you know? I was just like kind of dazed, like I mean, I had just gotten out of anesthesia, like what did I expect? But they put the cast already on and everything was good, so like it was done, you know. The nose that I didn't like and that didn't work, it was gone. And I was just so excited at that point. Like I was like, like it was a huge wave of relief that everything had gone smoothly and everything was fine. And so then the lady helped me with like getting back into my normal clothes, the nurse lady. And then after that, we went to a little like outpatient room, I guess. Kind of like a smaller exam room, not with like the hospital bed. It was just a chair where I was sitting, and they gave me an ice pack for my eyes, because they said like to do that to help with swelling. By that point, I hadn't even gotten any sort of black eye or like bruising or anything like that, because I guess it just happens later on after the surgery. So then she was discussing with my family. She was like, okay, do this and this and this. And I was like not paying attention at all, because I was just like so out of it. And then they told me like, okay, just like take it easy and just go home and just like sleep and, you know, eat something like soup or something and just rest, really. So then they like wheeled me out in like a little wheelchair to our car, and then I got into the car fine, and then we drove all the way home. I don't even remember how I got up the stairs, but somehow I ended up upstairs right here, over there. And that was so weird. Like I turned like this, but I still feel the like the instinct to like yank my nose this way, because I didn't like my profile, so I still feel like I have that instinct, but I actually love this profile now. Anyway, that was just, I didn't realize that I still have that habit. I was over here just resting and sleeping, and the first day for sure was just mostly sleeping, and then eating blueberry yogurt. And then the next couple days, honestly for like the next week, it was just mostly blueberry yogurt. That's kind of all I wanted to eat. Now I don't really feel like eating blueberry yogurt too much, because I ate a lot of blueberry yogurt, but you know, whatever you gotta do to help you with recovery. The reason that they tell you to do that is because like over here it gets so incredibly stiff, so it just feels weird, and also they tell you like to try and minimize the movement and stuff so everything can heal properly. Also, for the first couple weeks, they recommend for you to sleep with your head up, so that means like a couple of pillows and stuff, and to sleep straight up if you can. And that was the hardest part for me because I sleep on my side like all the time. That's just how I sleep, and then to sleep suddenly like this is just not what I was used to. But I had this travel pillow that I had bought, and it's the most amazing thing ever. I will link it down below because seriously, it's such a good travel pillow. So I had that travel pillow and I would just like sleep with it on, and that would like help me to not move every which way, you know? So that's like the way that I did that and was able to like manage it. So that was like the first couple days. I personally felt fine by like the third day. I stopped using my pain meds after the second day, I think. And it was just way easier than I anticipated, honestly. I know everyone says this, but it's like, the thing that really surprised me was that I barely got any bruises. I have seen so many videos where people get like their whole face like huge black eyes and stuff, and I am really lucky that I didn't get that. I got like, okay, like you know how you get bags under your eyes, except they were just like purple bruises, so like half circle bruises, and that was the worst bruising that I got. The rest of the days after that, it was just like lightening that up, so it really like wasn't that bad at all. So that was the extent of like the bruising and stuff, and I was able to like go up and down the house and like just slowly, you know, holding onto the rail and stuff, making sure I didn't fall. But everything was like really easy, and the part that probably was just like, I don't know, tedious I guess, was just the sleeping part, and then the rest of the day I was fine. Like I was just watching Netflix because you can't really do much in those first couple of days. By the 6th day I was like ready to like, you know, go out and about in my life and everything, let alone like probably like the 4th day I was like totally feeling normal and I wasn't as exhausted or anything like that. So day 7 came along, and then I went back to the plastic surgeon, and of course I wasn't driving, so my family drove me, my mom drove me back to the plastic surgeon's office, and then they removed my cast. And it was such an awesome thing to see, because before I could not see my whole nose, I could just see like the little tip, and I still thought it was really cute. I was so excited, I was so happy that it went up instead of going down. Like right now, like it goes up instead of like being all droopy and stuff, and I am so happy with it now. I just cannot believe it. Okay, so back to that. So they removed my cast, and the doctor had like the before and after photos, and he was like we were all so like amazed with how it came out, like how dramatically different it looked. It looked like completely different, but it looks like this is the nose I should have been born with, you know? Anyway, so that day we removed the cast, and he was like, it looks so good, it looks perfectly, like it fits your face and everything, and like, you know, it's gonna go down with the swelling and stuff, but right now it's swollen, but it looks like good, you know? So I was really excited with that, and I remember taking photos and sending them to like my family and stuff. I was like, look at how it looks already. And it was all swollen and everything, and it looked pretty much like this, just a little bit like larger because it was swollen, you know, but it didn't look like distorted or anything. The swelling was really not even that bad. Like I could have gone to the store that day and nobody would probably have even noticed, you know. The only thing they might have noticed was if I still had the bruises under my eyes, and then they probably would have noticed. But that was from surgery, so you know. So at that meeting, he also gave me some tape, and it's not like regular tape, it's like special micropore tape, something like that. So he told me to tape my nose, and basically you just put like a stripe of tape here and a stripe of tape here. And he said that that will help with the swelling, so he's like, if you can do that every night, then it'll like dramatically help your swelling. And also if you can do it during the daytime, like if you're home and you're not doing anything or you're not like having company over, you can like put it on your nose then too. And for me, I don't really mind if people see me with the tape, you know, like I didn't really care if people saw me with it. So I had that tape on like 24/7, like I had it in the daytime, I had it in the nighttime, I had it just like almost always on. I had it on because I wanted to help the swelling go down. So everything was healing really well. By the 2nd week, you really like can't tell. Even the swelling goes down like a ton, and it looks like pretty normal. Right now it's still swollen, but I think it looks like relatively normal. Like I feel like it looks good. For me, I've been taking pictures every single day because I want to see the progression of the swelling and stuff. So I take front view, side views, you know, just to see how it goes. So last week I also had my 1 month post-op visit. So I was in the room with a plastic surgeon and he was handed my like file. So he saw the nose, like the before photos, and then he saw the after and he was like, we gotta take photos. So I went to the room where they like take people's photos and stuff like that, and he took my photos and he was like, this looks like the nose that you were supposed to be born with. And I think it was funny because he said that he was like, when God was making you, I think when he made your nose, he got, somebody like distracted him or something, and then now we fixed it and it looks good. And I thought that was so funny. I love my plastic surgeon, he's so chill. It's such a dramatic difference, like I cannot believe it. I love how it came out, and I know I've said that for like 500 times now, but it's just like a huge thing that has been changed, and you know, it's like amazing. I can't believe that, like, I was so worried about it all this time for nothing. Like, I'm glad that I worried and I did my research and I did my due diligence with that, and now I can just like enjoy how it looks, you know? And right now, the tip is still like a little numb, I guess. Like, it just feels a little off, a very little bit off. And so like when I touch it, it's still like solid. And you know how if you like wiggle the end of your nose right now, like if you put your finger there, you can like move it and stuff. So that will happen later, like in a few months or something, it'll like go back to normal. But in terms of like how it looks and how it is and how it works, like everything is pretty normal. Also, can I just say, when the doctor went in for my exam, he like saw the nose and he was like, okay, so you're like 3 months post-op. And I was like, no, I'm 1 month post-op. And I have no idea if he just like got confused, but I like to think that maybe I was so good at taping my nose and like healing properly and everything, and like I just like to think that maybe my nose looked like it was 3 months post-op. You know, that's what I like to think. Maybe he just got confused. I don't know. I'm just gonna keep that though, keep it to myself. I wasn't really sure if I was gonna post these kind of videos. I filmed a couple before the surgery happened. I had to film it a couple of times because I felt like weird about it. And I don't know, people get weird when it comes to plastic surgery. I don't know what exactly it is, but it's really like either you're okay with it or you're not, apparently. And you know, it's just each person has the right to make their decision, and I'm super glad that I made this one. I'm not encouraging every person to like get a nose job, but like my nose wasn't working and I didn't like how it looked, and now I love the whole thing, you know? So I think for me it was a good decision. So it's up to you really, like if you end up doing that or not, you know? It was really funny, like after I got my cast off and after the swelling went down, then I just felt like telling everyone like, guys, I got plastic surgery, you know, because I felt so bad about my nose for so long, and now I feel great about it, and I almost want people to like do it if you really want to, you know, because I just think you should, you know, if you feel like it and if you really want to, just go for it. But yeah, I can't believe that I felt so shy about it, and now I just feel like telling everyone like how much I love this plastic surgery and stuff. And I know that's like kind of the opposite of what people usually do. Like a lot of celebrities and stuff, you'll like see that they're interviewed about it and they're like, nope, I haven't done anything to my face, but it's like very clearly a completely different face or something like that, you know. And I don't know if that contributes to the stigma or what it is, but I just figured that I would tell you because I just really love everything about it, and now that I don't have to feel so bummed out about how my nose looks. Like, I never thought that I would say that I love the way my nose looks, you know, but now I do. So I hope that this video helps you guys if you also are considering getting rhinoplasty or septoplasty or your turbinates fixed, like I had all that fixed. You know, I really hope that this helps you with learning about like the post-op process or taping or, you know, all those type of things. And if you guys have any questions, you guys can always ask me on Twitter, like DM me on Twitter, or you guys can just like leave a comment down below and I will try to answer it. I'm not a doctor, so I can just tell you like my experience about it, but yeah. thank you guys so much for watching, and if you guys want to support me on Patreon, you guys can go ahead and do that. I would really appreciate it. Also, if you guys want to subscribe, you can click right there, and if you guys want to check out my other videos, you can click right there or right there, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye!